evening, my fellow rosebuds. It's your girl, Ebony Rose. And look, today I have on a rosy dress. Really in my element today. And this brings for the perfect vibe to discuss a topic that I had in mind about the art and the essence of femininity and masculinity. I'm in a park right now. I'm surrounded by trees. I got ibises around me. Let me show you. I'm gonna turn the phone just a bit so you can see. You see? It was squirrels running up and down here not too long ago. And further up, there's a pond and there's ducks and all that stuff. I should have brought some bread with me so I could feed them. Perfect way to honor the divine feminine, by the way. But yes, I'm not gonna hold y'all. I know I say this all the time, but I really am gonna do my best to be quick, okay? So, feminine and masculine energy, what it is and how they work together. Femininity is what is. Femininity is just is. It is. Femininity would exist without your acknowledgement or with your acknowledgement. Femininity is the beginning, and femininity will also be the end. Femininity is that notion that does not really have that structure. She does not have these more so commanding of a presence, yet she can. Because she is. And she's whatever she wants to be. Femininity is the art of flow. Femininity is like water. How the ocean starts with little ripples of waves, ripple effects of waves. But it can also become a big wave. Femininity is also this wind in which I feel around me. Shout out to Oya. We honor the ancestors in the wind. In a nutshell, feminine energy is chaotic. She could flow and she could be as sweet as that river that's flowing up a stream. But she could also cause some waves. Big waves. She can cause a massive flood. She could become a tornado. She could become a hurricane. She can become an earthquake. So, I don't even know why people like to separate it and make this whole notion out of light femininity and dark femininity. But I do get it. Because anywhere that you have light attached to it, that means it's what is merely more acceptable in society's standards. So that's all that is. What you got to understand with light is that light in itself is just a fraction of the truth. Darkness encompasses the whole truth in its totality. So, you know, if you think you're going to be out here living in your light energy and shying away from your dark energy, which is really the source of it all, you're doing yourself a disservice. You're fragmenting your own self, your own nature, hence discombobulating yourself. But I digress. Let's move on to the masculine energy, okay? So the masculine energy is an energy that is structured. Masculine energy is what materializes what is. So you have what is, which is the feminine energy, and then you have the materialization of it, which is the masculine energy. Masculine energy is what is known to build, what is known to provide structure, what is known to bring awareness to something, to make it, to bring it forth from where it was not materialized, and has it brought in here, in this dimension, in a matter form. Are you with me so far, y'all, my rosebuds? So this is what masculine energy is. There's a quote from Zaza Gabor, and she states that macho does not mean mucho. So just because you see a man with big muscles rumbling around, beating his chest like he about to embark on some guerrilla warfare, does not mean that he's masculine. He may more so be in his feminine. Just because you see a man knucking and bucking, ready to fight,
and it's no to stop this not to the flow.
Yeah, we knucking and bucking and ready to fight.
like he's a bull, does not mean that he's in his masculine. He can very much well be in his feminine. As a matter of fact, the bull in all essence is feminine. The zodiac sign Taurus, which is actually a bull, is a feminine sign. It's a feminine sign because of its true nature of being chaotic and swinging them horns back and forth. Whenever you are in a chaotic nature that is not directed towards a target or for a specific reason, it is feminine. Period. So don't think just because you got a guy that's over here beating on his chest or swinging them horns that he's masculine. As a matter of fact, it is the structure of this sort of energy that could bring about a sort of masculinity. You see, the thing is that we have them both. We have them both. However, it matters about how it is that you utilize these energies within yourself. If you utilize it in a way in which does not gather no substance, then that shows what angle you are at, depending on what it is that you're aiming for, granted you're aiming for anything at all. The nature of anything in its pure essence, uncontained, is a feminine essence. Now, when you structurize it, when you bring structure to it, when you command it and it sort of directs its energy to your command, then that is where you see the power of the masculinity taking form. You can't really be in your true masculinity if you don't understand the cycles and the rhythm of the femininity, because you gotta understand, femininity just is. All that the masculine does, I'm not gonna say all, but what the masculine does is he brings structure to it. Going back to Genesis, the word was with God. However, it all existed. You had the body of water, you had the spirit roaming in the waters, feminine energy, it all existed. When the utterance and the command of let there be light happens and there was light, it was the action that was the masculine energy, because structure was being brought about. It's like with the bull. The bull, in its pure essence, is a feminine energy. When it's roaming its horns around for no particular reason. Now, you could put it as a dark aspect, but it's all feminine. Whether it's flowing sweet like a river, flowing up or down a stream, or if it's a big wave causing a massive effect in the body of water, it is still feminine energy. Even if it be that of a bull. Now, you see it masculine come about and takes its form when the man, it's usually a man, that's at the end holding a flag or what is like a blanket, which is usually red. There you see masculinity in its pure place because it's directing that chaotic energy. You see a dance that's happening within those barricades between a masculine that is not scared of the force because it understands what it's dealing with. However, it came to the understanding or overstanding of directing that force to a target, which is that blanket in which it is holding. There, that is where you see the dance of a feminine and a masculine. It's like those crazy big body of waves splashing into water, yet you see a well-skilled surfer that's surfing right on top with grace. That is somebody who studied that body of water to know how to ride the waves because of its comprehension of the cycles in which the wave will flow. It is not trying to rule the waves the same way that the master is not trying to rule the bull. What it's trying to do is take it as it comes and direct that energy. I mean, it seems as if the wave bows down to the surfer. Because the thing is that when you work to understand the cycles of femininity by nature, what it is that you seek in this submission, you naturally get. Naturally. You ain't gotta beg for it. You don't gotta plead for it. You don't gotta talk women down like, oh, she's in her masculine and she don't know how to submit. You just don't know how to be a man. If you think being a man is walking around beating your chest, you got it messed up. If you think being a man is ruling the universe. You cannot rule the universe, honey. You can't. You're trying to rule it now, and look how it's going. So, what a masculine does is provides the space for a feminine to be a feminine. When a masculine and a feminine comes together in unison and in harmony, you have rhythm. You have this dance. When you have a house, masculine, built, structured, but yet there's no family or nothing there, it is just a house. Pure masculine energy. It doesn't mean that the mom, the children, the family, it doesn't mean that they don't exist. They do exist. They're just not in that house. So that house cannot really be in its full purpose of being a home because it doesn't have the dynamics of a woman, of a family, of all the ambiance that takes place within the activities of a family taking place in that home or in that house, which would make it a home. Therefore, it's just a house, not really living up to its optimal purpose. Because again, life resides with the woman automatically, because the woman embodying her pure femininity is life, and she just is, because life just is. But what you see here, from the trees to the sky and all of that, is simply, shut the fuck up. It's just simply life being realized. So I hope this explains it. I don't even want to go further in the gender roles, because that in itself, if you can understand this brief explanation that I just gave, that is explainable within itself. You could put that in your mind and calculate it and see what it comes to. It shouldn't even be a calculation. That's the thing. We need to get out of our minds with all of this. And we really do. Because masculine and femininity together is really just a dance. A man could cook. You would say that's a feminine role. But if there's a woman that's pregnant, or if a man, if he knows the art, my dad knows how to cook. And he is super masculine. So he was definitely anyway, my dad is a womanizer, so he's not really the perfect example. Somebody who's had plenty of women, true Caribbean man, them story, okay? But we're not gonna go there. However, he is a man who has mastered this feminine essence aspect of him, because we all have it. Nonetheless, if you have a man that has a woman and he feels like cooking, he gonna cook. But let's flip it now. Let's say the woman is to go throw out the garbage. A man who more than likely was not raised in a structured foundation, again, masculine, he probably don't have that innate masculinity in him. It probably would seem okay for him to let the female go ahead and throw the garbage out. But then he is not in that essence of protecting. So if a masculine is to provide structure, is to provide space for a woman to bask in her femininity and protect and all that good stuff, but yet his girl is going outside to go throw out the garbage, something totally wrong with that picture. Do you see what I'm saying? So I don't want you to necessarily wrap your mind around these roles, these so-called gender roles, but more so the energy. That's how you'll really be able to really grasp whether or not you are in your feminine or your masculine. You feel me? Again, femininity is just is. So though you may have the sun, right? And the sun has all these planets revolving around it. A woman who does not know herself, that is ripping and running for a guy, cooking, paying half the bills, putting herself last just for this man because he is her son. The sun, and she is the one revolving around him. She just does not know her power. Because even in that, you gotta understand that the sun is in the universe. And the universe is feminine. Okay? The life, what did I say before? The life lies with the feminine. Iceberg Slim said it so plainly and so beautifully. And he's a notorious pimp. He said a pimp is really a hoe who flipped the game on hoes. So all these hoes that you see out here running the streets, especially those that's fucking for free. Ooh, this is YouTube. I should not be talking like this. But they don't know that holy grail, that true magic that lies in their womb pot, what it contains. And therefore they're not harnessing, therefore they're being exploited. I know men that started off masculine, but really it was more so of a macho-ness about them. And that is what the woman fell in love with in the beginning. And next thing you know, what seemed like an empowering move to empower her, she fell for it, went to school for a career in which she does not like, and now she's the breadwinner, making money and bringing and paying all the bills. Nothing wrong with that, but she gave away her power because that's not really what she wanted to do. Yet she succumbed to his power because that's what he wanted her to do. Essentially, she played herself. But those are the type of women that you have out here. And if you don't know yourself, that is what you will be subjected to. You are a goddess with or without this materialized nature of a physical man. Physical man is just a complement to what you already are. However, a man looking to be in his true king masculine essence, he would be looking to provide that for a feminine in his life. A masculine who has a woman and he's providing for her in the best way, but yet has a mother that's suffering, that has a sister that can't even keep up, that is in the brink of losing everything. If he's living comfortably and he has women outside his sphere that's going through it, that's not even a real deal masculine man. I mean, yeah, you see, like Robert Greene discussed, there's this power, and power, really all it is the appearance. It's a appearance on impression. So power in its sense is not necessarily real power as we know it. True masculine man is going to honor the feminine around him, and that has to do with wife, girlfriend, sister, auntie, niece, daughter, friend, etc. Just woman, because him understanding the dynamic of that. But if you don't have a man that does that, they're in pure ego And ego is just the appearance of things, and power is just the appearance of having power, which is not real rooted power. A man with real power, he comes with that big energy, okay? He comes with emperor energy, which embodies all kings. So you have one that has this appearance of king, and then you have somebody that energy flows all throughout their veins. So that is what I leave you with. That is something that you ought to understand, and that goes for the ladies here as well, to understand your power, because then you will not settle for nothing less than honor, respect, and love. But that love comes from you loving yourself. You loving yourself, you can spot real love a mile away. And I'm gonna end this. I really hope I got this out like how I wanted to. I'm gonna leave this with what Catwoman said. Selena Kyle's quote, aka Catwoman, said that a woman, who by the way is my favorite animated character, a woman who knows her own mind is a force to be reckoned with. So understand your powers, ladies, because you are not the one who brings to the table. You are the table. And that is all I'm gonna say. This is the essence of femininity and masculinity. And when you understand the embodiments of these energies, then you could bring them together and have this harmonious dance. You're not going to be stiff like a robot trying to figure out what role I should play in this particular situation. You will be dancing and you will be in flow, like the surfer on the wave or the bull master. Okay, so that is what I leave you with. Ciao.